Good afternoon. I'm Shane Delgrasso, S-H-A-N-E, capital D-E-L, capital G-R-O-S-S-O. I'm the Incident Commander of Rocky Mountain Incident Management Team, Team A. We're a Type 2 team. Just to give you a little background about our Incident Management Team. Many of you are from the Colorado area. Many of you have heard of probably our teams when it comes to firefighting. Whether, you know, West Park, a lot of the fires that have occurred, we often bring in one of the land management, incident management teams. We happen to be a Type 2 team. We're an interagency team. We're made up of federal, state, local, and cooperating agencies. So it is a true interagency team. This is one of the things we do when it comes to natural disasters or all-risk hazards. We often get called in to support in a support role. Some other incidents like we've been involved with, you know, you talk about the space shuttle recovery efforts. They brought in teams like us. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill, they brought in teams like us. 9/11. We often get these types of calls to come in and help. And on this assignment, our mission on this assignment is to assist and provide support to Larimer County, the state of Colorado, and in coordination with FEMA to provide coordination, oversight, and leadership in the command and control in bringing all these entities and cooperating agencies together. And you know, with that, our team, we're growing as we speak, because right now we brought in 2 urban search and rescue teams. They're en route as we speak. They should be here tomorrow, and they consist of there's 2 teams of 80 people, and they come to assist. You know, we're not trying to replace anything. We're here to support the local effort, to support the state, and we're here to boost their capabilities. So with that, this team's coming in, and they bring search and rescue capabilities to supplement what we already have. They have the ability to evaluate structures and do assessments, and that's everything from buildings to maybe some roads and infrastructure, so we can start collecting information on the damage that's been done out there. So as was mentioned earlier, Mother Nature's not cooperating with us today, and currently we are not flying. But tomorrow, if we get that window of opportunity, which it sounds like we might get, we have the horsepower to hit it hard out there tomorrow. Right now we have 7 Blackhawk helicopters, 3 Chinooks, 2 Lakotas, and we got pallets of water and MREs for those that you know, if we can't get them out, at least we can get them some basic human needs to continue to weather it out up there until we can get them out. Are there any questions? I can share with you what happened yesterday, if you'd like. Yesterday, we did get the ability to fly. We've pulled out 430 people from Big Elk Meadows, and it was quite a few. There was another 200 ready to be pulled out this morning, but the weather did not cooperate. Yesterday we pulled 20 people out of Pinewood Springs, and this morning there was another 12 people in there ready to come out. So we're working hard. It's just that Mother Nature's not cooperating with us right now.
Where's the 200?
Big Elk Meadows.
Okay.
Big Elk Meadows. They're ready to be evacuated out of there as soon as we can fly.
Can you talk a little bit about what those 2 teams will be doing tomorrow?
These 2 teams, a big part of their job is going to be supplement search and rescue. There's been buildings that have been lost, destroyed. They're damaged. They're going to go house to house and physically search to make sure that, one, there has not been an accident or fatality there. Two, if there is somebody there, we're going to try and coordinate with them to get them evacuated and get them out of there. You know, this all being said, you know, it's the middle of September. It's not going to be long in this country before you start getting frost and you're going to start having some snow. And it's going to take months and years, a year, to rebuild some of these roads to the standard that they were prior to this incident. So I see this being a long-going incident just from the personal welfare because time is of the essence, both for them and for the weather that's coming over the next couple of weeks and even into the next month.
I'm wondering in some of these rescues if you've had people who refuse to be airlifted out or taken away, and what's the future look like for them?
There are individuals that choose to stay, and I know that some individuals have set up zip lines to get across the moving water. We cannot force them to leave. We can recommend, and my biggest concern is with knowing what's going to come weather-wise over the next couple of months. They change their mind, and we don't have the abilities that we have now to get them out. So I guess my advice would be I'd rather have people come out now while we got the horsepower, the equipment, and we can get you into a shelter, maybe into some short-term housing later down the road. Who knows? But the longer we wait, the more the environment, the weather, and the elements are going to be an issue.
So where's the majority of the work going on right now this afternoon? What's your focus at the moment?
Right now, our focus this afternoon, of course, since we can't fly, we do have some National Guard assets and some telecommunication companies working in the Estes Park area because they did get access on Highway 7 opened up for emergency traffic and emergency travel. We are also in the process of developing our plans for the integration of these urban search and rescue teams that are coming in. They'll be here tonight, and we plan to deploy them tomorrow. And right now, before I came here, we're still getting calls, everything from people running out of medicines, and we're prioritizing. You know, we're also looking at, are there opportunities where there might be an old 2-track road, something like that, where we could get a ATV or UTV in. But that being said, we need to work with also the other land management agencies so we're not doing more harm on their lands as well. A good example was the Forest Service. Somebody drove through a spring and ended up causing a lot of environmental damage, but you know, that's second compared to life safety. But it's just another factor that we got to consider in and make sure we're communicating and talking to everybody.
So you're unable to pull people out right now?
Right now, we cannot fly. We're looking for opportunities to get in by ground, and those are being identified as we speak.
How many people up the canyon are basically sitting there waiting for a helicopter to get them out of there?
Right now, we know of, well, I saw a list right before I came down here. Based on today's call, there's 800 people.
In the county?
800 people in the county that have made contact through us, through people, to be evacuated as soon as we can fly.
That's different than the 200 you said earlier.
That's in addition to the 200 that I said earlier. So 1,000 people total.
I'm confused now.
200 in Big Elk.
200 in Big Elk, roughly 12 in Pinewood Springs, and that was as of yesterday. As of an hour ago, I have 800 more to add to that,
And where are they coming from?
all over.
Both canyons?
Yeah, both canyons. It's really scattered, but a lot of it's Big Elk again, and up further. It's really scattered. I think it was spread across 4 of our divisions, which are geographical places on across the land.
Would your team be responsible for bringing in things like temporary bridge structures?
We are not responsible for that, but we're in close coordination with CDOT, County Roads and Bridges, and they're sharing with us what they're doing. So everybody's trying to work together. We're all trying to pull in the same direction. In order for us to do that, we need to know what everybody's roles and responsibilities are, and that we're all pulling in that same direction.
Shane, with more rain happening right now, what's your concern this evening leading into tomorrow?
My concern, and I'm just speaking on behalf of my team here, but the rain is a concern. Today we did get in a National Weather Service meteorologist. He got here about 11 o'clock this morning. He's hard at work trying to also give us a good indicator of amounts, durations, and we're tied in with hydrologists and stream flow people who are monitoring the creeks as we speak, because that was one of our concerns is, are we going to get new flooding, flooding where we had it before? That is a concern, and short term. I watched the news this morning, and I heard of some tropical stuff, possible hurricane stuff, and I can't think out that far, but part of me says that we need a change in the weather pattern to get a break and to really go after what needs to be done out there.
Can you talk about the roads in and out of Estes? We're hearing people are getting frustrated with not knowing if they have access.
The roads in and out of Estes, coming down off of Estes, yesterday they found that they could get down a little further, but the road is gone.
Which one?
I don't have it in front of me, but the only way into Estes Park right now is through Highway 7.
And Highway 7 is passable to emergency.
It's passable to emergency vehicles. I think our public information shared with you, they got 8 semis from Safeway in to Estes Park yesterday. We got Verizon, AT&T. We got most of the cell phone coverage and infrastructure restored into Estes Park.
So 36, not passable?
It's just Highway 7.
It's just Highway 7 right now.
34 are not open.
I know there's a number of natural gas pipelines and oil pipelines through this area. I don't know if you guys are in communication with oil and gas companies or if that comes into public safety at all.
Well, let's talk about that. We had set up our incident command post down here at the Puda Fire Training Center, and we quickly realized our footprint's going to grow significantly. Part of it due to all the utilities and oil and gas, power and electric. So our incident command post right now is currently in the process of moving to the ranch, where we can spread out. We'll have a lot more asphalt and things like that, where we can set up a caterer, we can set up a lot of things without sinking in the mud. But one of the places that we're going to be growing is we're bringing in somebody to help coordinate the oil and gas, the overhead power, the public utilities, and work with those guys so that we can get them in and get that infrastructure restored as quickly as we can.
But right now, it's not a safety concern. It's not like we have pipelines that have been bursted by flooding or.
Correct. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Are there any new flooding incidents that we are not aware of? Anything, given the rain that we're getting this afternoon, anything new that's popped up?
They've been monitoring the river, and it's elevated slightly, but not a concern at this point, the rivers. So it's something we continue to monitor.
Can you compare this incident to others? I mean, you mentioned some very horrific incidents. I mean, just for some perspective.
This incident, I think, is going really smooth from my perspective because we have good coordination, good cooperation from all the supporting agencies, from all the cooperating agencies, from Larimer County, from the state, and through FEMA. And, you know, it's come together real well. We've had to work through just a few minor, I wouldn't even call them issues. I would call it, you know, discrepancies in how we're going to make this all work and make sure that we're all talking and working together, and we have overcome those challenges, and now we're moving forward.
I guess I was sort of asking more in terms of the devastation, the dollar figure, generally what
Each
folks are going through.
incident is unique into itself. I mean, devastation. You know, the devastation up here could be something valued different by you than somebody who values the coastal shore. And it's apples and oranges.
Probably just have time for one or two more quick questions. We've got to get Shane back to work. He's got a big job, as you might imagine. So, a couple more.
Shane, the sheriff talked about earlier some of the things he saw on the ground yesterday. We haven't been able to get up there. Can you share any stories, your guys working with residents on the ground, especially Big Thompson Canyon, those isolated areas?
Well, you got to understand too. Yesterday was a shadow day for us, where we shadowed the county and the local agencies, and today's our first day. So we have our operation folks inserted out there, and as we move along, these SAR teams, anything we need, we're looking at sling loading in by helicopter UTVs, so we can cover more ground in certain areas where there's a little bit of continuity to cover more ground more quickly. So a lot's going to happen as soon as we get the opportunity to get up and fly.
I asked the sheriff this question earlier. What would you say to folks who are stranded and they're just down and out and they're looking?
I think I kind of addressed that earlier when, you know, you got to be looking at the long term, big picture, and I think you really should assess whether or not you should be up there for a long period of time. My recommendation would be, if they're there and they're able to sustain themselves, they should look at closing down, shutting off, draining, winterizing, doing those types of things, and get themselves out, get themselves to safety.
One more question?
So you're sort of in a waiting game a little bit right now.
We're in a waiting game due to the weather, and we're continuing to use our time to strategically plan, coordinate, provide the leadership, and we will be successful. We will be successful.